What's up, guys? Hoodlum 2002 here with another Diecast review video. Today we are finally reviewing a next-gen diecast. This is Alex Bowman's 2022 Ally Chevrolet. So before we get into the car, we're going to take a quick look at the box. Lionel redesigned the box for these cars, but they recently made a post that they are going to be going back to the old design. They're going to have like a special 75th anniversary logo on the new boxes, but they are going back to the old style that we had back from last year. So these boxes are only going to be ran in for this year, which I really don't. Again, I was seeing a lot of people, you know, obviously they give you this little thing right here to help you like be able to stack the boxes on top of each other, but I kind of like the old design. Again, it's another one of those, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But anyways, so on the side right here, you got 124 scale. You have Lionel Racing official diecast of NASCAR. You got the Elite logo right there. The next gen 2022 season. On the top, you have standard finish. You got the NASCAR Cup Series logo right there. Got the Lionel website right there. Obviously, you know, really nothing for the front. You just have the giant clear area that you can see the car through. On the side, you got the same thing as the other side. On the back, you have RCCA Elite. You got the NASCAR logo. You have register your cars then at LionelGarage.com. They made a total of, if my camera could focus, please. They made a total of 213 of these. And there's the bottom of the box with all your copyright and such. This, of course, does come with your Elite Certificate of Authenticity. Something they did change down here is you can put the actual DIN of your car with the total numbers. So like if you had, you know, maybe the 5th one, you could do the 5th of 218 or 5 of 218. But now let's take a look at the car. Finally getting to review a 2022 diecast. I've been wanting to review this car for a little bit. Obviously, whenever I first got it, I kind of wanted to review, but kind of got sidetracked. And then I didn't want to review it when Bowman was out with the concussion. I am recording this Sunday before the before the Cup Series Championship race, and the Friday going into the Martinsville race, Alex Bowman announced that he finally got cleared to be back in the car, and he decided to obviously wait until Phoenix because he had made an announcement that he was missing the entire round of 8, one of those races being Martinsville. And he obviously felt there was no reason, while obviously that he was cleared, there was no reason to jump into the car at Martinsville because, you know, he'd already announced that he was going to miss Martinsville, and swapping out in the seat and all that stuff from him and Noah Gregson just obviously would not have been a good thing. But let's go ahead and get down to the sponsors on this car. So on the hood you have Ally again, with them doing the echoing of the logo or whatever that's called. On the front you have Chevy ZL1, got the number 48 right there. Hendrick Motorsports, and again you have that memorial sticker, I believe, for the crew member that passed away. Trying to read what that says. I can't really read what that says. Anyways, going down the side, you got Sunoco. I don't know why they have Goodyear in like this dark purple. I think it would look better with like yellow or something like that because it really blends in with the design a little bit. Anyways, you got the NASCAR Cup Series logo right there. You got the 48 because this is the first year of them moving the numbers forward. Then on the rear, you have Ally, Do It Right. You got HendrickCars.com right there. You got Valvoline on the C post. On the B post, you have Acronis, Exalta, Cincinnati, Freightliner, Mac Tools, and Siemens. Got Alex Bowman's name right there on the name reel. Nothing obviously on the A post, with the Cup Series logo move forward right there. On the back, you have Ally, Do It Right. You got Chevy Camaro ZL1. Got the Valvoline logo right there, as well as the Neon 48, I believe, obviously paying homage to Jimmy Johnson. Part of me also thinks the whole blacked out rear bumper is kind of an homage to Dale Jr. as well. Because Dale Jr. ran, a lot of his cars had a painted black bumper. I don't know if that's an homage to Dale Jr. or whatever, but yeah. On the deck lid, you have Ally Do It Right. This is number 108. Another thing, they're like engraving the din into the car, which I believe actually they said an update. I don't know if they're changing it, but they said the din's going to be down right here into the, or that might have been on the trucks, I can't remember, but, or maybe on the raced wind diecast, I believe they said that it was going to be down here in like the door, which I don't know. But yeah, 108, you got Bowman's name right there. You have Ally Do It Right on the roof. Got the same stuff down the other side as usual. Take a look under the hood. And there's another feature we're going to look at on this car. If I can get the hood to open. Alright. There we go. So under the hood, you have the Chevy logo. You got Wilkes filters and Ally Do It Right. There's the engine detail if you want to see that. You got the two little things for the hood vents. They do not physically have the hood prints on. They have the hood vents printed, which obviously, because if they molded in the hood vents, it would be very difficult to apply the decals over all the bumps and little grooves of the hood vents. So I'm okay with them decaling the hood vents. You can see right where they line up. So yeah, there's the engine detail if you want to see that. They do have the little air inlet printed on the front window. You of course have the front view camera, and they also debuted a rear view camera. So you got those, and you can kind of see the little like slits that they have in the windshield as well. Obviously, with this being an Elite, the roof flaps open. And you got the little holes for the antennas. The deck lid does open, but you can see your fuel cell and such. Here's the underside of the car. Again, you got the smooth underside of the car with the diffuser right here. Got the RCCA Elite logo with Lionel Racing. And again, you have the din on the bottom. But with the Elites, you can actually take this bottom piece off. I've only got 2 screws out of the 4. So I'm going to unscrew these 2 screws real quickly, show y'all the underside of this car. On the ARCs, you cannot do this. So if you got a ARC diecast, you cannot take off this bottom plate of the car. So just real quick before I take this off, so you'll have a screw right here, a screw right here, a screw right here, and another screw in the back right here. And you can just like grab it by the diffuser or whatever, and it just pops back off. This is just a little piece of plastic that just screws on. I kind of wish there was a way it would just snap on. You can just snap it off, just kind of save time. But again, the screws really don't bother me. So here's the underside of the car. You can see the transmission, the underside of the engine, the steering stuff right there. Got the drive shaft and all that stuff. Got the I believe this is the transaxle back here. Does have working rear suspension. I gotta say, the rear of the car looks weird without the diffuser or without the underplate on it. If you were just like sit it like this, you wouldn't know the diffuser's there. But like if you pick it up, obviously you feel it. And to put it back on again, you just line it up, and it just sits. So let me get these 2 screws back in. I won't lie, I really kind of like how the diecast came out. Again, I see a lot of people obviously, mention that there's not a whole lot of detail and about, the engine and all that stuff, and I'm not one of those. I don't really care. I mean, I'd say if you display your diecast with the hood and all that stuff open, obviously yeah, you would care because people are gonna see that. But I mean, I like to display my cars like this, everything closed, and have it just sit. Another thing that NASCAR debuted this year, obviously, were the one lug, the center lug wheels. For some reason, this thing, they don't have the calipers on the rotors. You just have the rotors, and they are running bigger wheels. I believe with the Gen 6 they ran, I believe they were like 15-inch wheels. They moved up to, I believe, 18-inch wheels, and these are actually made by BBS. It's really cool to see a well-known wheel company in NASCAR. But I really do, as far as like looks and everything, I really do like the next gen diecast as well as the next gen car itself. Everything, you know, it's all symmetrical, not where like on the Gen 6 car, I believe like one side of the car was like completely flat and on the other side the rear quarter was like kind of angled. I do kind of like how, you know, it is all just the same stuff on every side. Now, obviously, as far as looks go, obviously this car does have some safety issues. Again, as I mentioned earlier, as the fact that I've been wanting to review this car for a while. I did not want to review it while Alex Bowman was out with the concussion, but obviously now, given that he is back behind the wheel today, wanted to go ahead and review it. And I mean, I wanted to review a next gen diecast before the end of the season, so better late than never, I guess. Yeah, really love how it looks and how it sits. But yeah, again, just NASCAR is working on the safety issues, especially the rear impacts, because a lot of drivers over the season had started kind of being vocal and started saying how that the rear of the car was probably a little bit too durable. Because again, like I mentioned, whenever I had the underside of the car off, you have the transaxle back here, and that's part of the sequential transmission that they use. They don't use the normal H pattern. They use a sequential transmission. So with the transaxle being back here, NASCAR kind of reinforced the rear of the car to try to protect the transaxle from getting damaged. Well, if you build a car and the body doesn't give, like if it like this thing backs into the wall and it looks like, you know, nothing happened, it didn't really absorb the impact as much as it should have. All of that energy is going towards the driver instead of the car, basically. Kurt Busch, again, in his qualifying lap at Pocono, spun out, backed into the wall, whole lot harder than what Bowman's crash at Texas was about a month ago. Like on Kurt's car, you could, like, the rear of that car got pushed in. Announced, I believe, either that same day or the next day that he wasn't going to run Pocono, and now he's been sidelined for months. And whenever NASCAR went to Vegas, Kurt Busch made the announcement that he was stepping away from full-time racing. Alex Bowman at Texas blew a tire, backed into the wall, whole lot less severe than what Kurt's crash was. Like, Bowman's crash wasn't nearly as bad as what Kurt's was. As far as, you know, watching the crashes side by side, they weren't. You can't compare them. Kurt was a whole lot worse than Bowman's. Bowman says again over the radio that was the hardest he crashed anything in his entire life, and you hear him say that. And again, I think back to the 2019 Chicagoland race when Bowman won. Rick Allen, when he was commentating that final lap, mentioned that Bowman crashed in a USAC midget race, I believe, and Bowman got really injured from that. I believe like he broke his ribs, collapsed his lungs, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't really remember. When a driver has a crash like that, and then is saying, you know, just simply backing into the wall at 30, 35 miles an hour is the hardest crash that they've ever had, you know something is up. And I think he even said that he was surprised that the car was still rolling. So he went down pit road, and obviously, you know, he was in the playoffs at this time, his team started making adjustments to the car, and they showed an onboard camera, I believe, a day or so after the race. They didn't show it live on TV, but he had his visor up, and you could just tell by like looking at his eyes that something was off. Well, he still ran that full race. And they actually, obviously, whenever he made his announcement, a lot of people asked him, how it went. Apparently, Bowman said he felt fine the day after the race. I think he said he felt fine Tuesday, and then Wednesday he was like doing, I guess, something on a computer or something, and then he realized something wasn't right. He went and got evaluated, and they said he could not race. But now he is back, so happy he's going to get to run a race before the end of the season. Obviously, with it being the end of the season, this is going to be Greg Ives' last race as a crew chief. So happy Bowman's going to get to have it. Obviously, one last race with Greg, and Bowman's going to get to run the final race at his home track. So, but again, really happy to finally review this car again. Wanted to review a next gen diecast before the end of the season. Another thing I actually want to point out is the color. I think it's appearing on camera, but the real life car is like white. But if you're looking, this doesn't look like a normal white. I believe Circle B Diecast or Plan B Sales said that the color is like supposed to be like a champagne white, when a lot of people were thinking, whenever you looked at the real car, it was going to be, like a paper white, like, a normal like white, like paper. When you see the real car, that's what you thought it was going to be, that paper white. Well, you looked at the render, the 3D render of the diecast, and it was not that paper white. Again, I believe y'all can kind of tell. Let me see if I can grab a white car. I actually got one right here, actually. So side by side, here's Josh Berry's. Try to see if I can get both of them in the frame. But here is Josh Berry's Martinsville, and you can kind of see the white compared to the Alex Bowman car. You can kind of see that there's a difference. The white on the Berry car is that, like that paper white, but you can see the difference in the white on the Bowman car. So I thought that'd be really interesting to point out. But anyways, that's going to pretty much do it for this review on Alex Bowman's 2022 Ally Next Gen Chevy. Probably a long outro right there, but that's going to do it. I'm probably going to try to do maybe some diecast review videos over the off season of maybe some like non-raced wins or something like that. I actually think I'm looking at one right now that I could actually probably do. And I might do some other stuff if I can find some stuff. But again, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the Cup Series Championship race. And I will see you guys in the next one.